Here we are at September 1997. Depending on where you were in the world at the time, an episode of Pokemon aired in Japan that induced mass seizures in children. That same scene was then later shown on the news, which invoked even more seizures across the country. Mattel released Share a Smile Becky Barbie doll, who was disabled and came with a wheelchair. This later fell to controversy because the Barbie dream house was not wheelchair accessible and could not accommodate her needs. As for me, I was doing what every 9-year-old was doing, building tree houses, picking guavas, and trying to understand why my cat couldn't hold its breath as long as I could. In the world of gaming, however, RTS was on the rise, Command and Conquer had some strong competition, and a large controversy would ultimately strike Messiah. Let's dive in. Heroine kills. What a cool intro. Some good reviews in this month's issue for sure. Lots of stuff to explore in the CDs. Do you remember your first time? How could I ever forget Father Frederick? What an awesome advert. Why do people always assume that aliens want to put stuff in us or eat us? Wow, that's awesome art. Hexen 2. I only ever played a demo of this. Didn't really get captivated by it. Hexen or Heretic for you guys, which one's better? When are they going to learn that football/soccer is not a scoop? Not a scoop. 7th Legion, however, this looks like scoop material. A mix of Command & Conquer with Magic the Gathering to create some kind of RTS shooter thing. Looks good. Close Combat 2, A Bridge Too Far. Military Strategy. Anyone ever play this? I've never even heard of it. Another RTS I haven't heard of. Myth Fable Attraction. Shrek looks pretty cool. Total conversion mod for Quake. Had new levels, guns, gameplay, all that kind of stuff. What's your favorite Quake? I think number 3 is the best for me. Max Payne in 97 did not happen until 2001. Age of Empires. It's from Microsoft, but it does look like it could be very good indeed. And it sure was. Played it more than I've had hot food. Messiah. Controversial game. You're this guy, sent to Earth to remove corruption and sin. Which is ironic considering how much sin and corruption lies within the churches around the world. How's that for a controversial statement? Needless to say, the game at the time was also controversial. We're clearly a very delicate species. Whoa, look at the specs on this card. You know it's a good card because of all these lettered bullet points. Never heard of it. Anyone have a Magic 3D card? The top 20 of 97. I for sure would have put Theme Hospital as my number 1. Maybe Command and Conquer. I never played Dungeon Keeper. What would your number one be? Those were the days of classic arcade games. They sure were for someone, but for me, nothing will ever beat a garage LAN. What an amazing game, but more on this later. Wow, still in development? I think this was the first adventure game that I played. My brother and I got stuck for months towards the end game with no walkthrough in sight, till one day I managed to get it from some random guy's house who printed the entire walkthrough on his dot matrix printer. Can you imagine? Bad news for the bad guys. Learn games quicker. No need to memorize clumsy keyboard commands. Pretty sure learning to type is a good thing. There's like 8 commands to learn for gaming in 1997, and 4 of them are logical arrow keys. Still an interesting concept though. Anyone ever have one of these? Works with any PC game ever. What about Typing of the Dead? Or Zork? See, I'm creating canon in my YouTube page. This statement is more relevant if you watched my previous videos. Be the first, be the best. 3D specs. You could have just made these yourself really with some crinkle paper and a set of your grandmother's glasses. I remember trying to download a demo of this back in the day on my dial-up. It nearly finished once, but then my dad picked up the phone. So ultimately the only Werns game I played in the 90s was Armageddon, followed by World Party, which I still play today. I think World Party's the best. It incorporated everything of Armageddon with a few more add-ons. 7th Legion. The Reader's Top 100. This kind of looks like London after the Euro Cup this year. I suppose the more things change, the more they stay the same. What is the number one? As told by the readers, Command and Conquer. Well deserved, I suppose. Red Alert 2, still the best out of the whole franchise. Don't think anything will ever beat that. Zork. I imagine this one's not the typing based one. PC Game Review Board. No pictures yet, lucky guys. You've escaped judgment this week. Dark Rain. Go and play it. Still an online community where you can do Discord and all of that good stuff. I'll put a link in the description below. Lots of multiplayer servers. And you can grab the game on GOG. It was one of the first games to drift away from the same thing that Command and Conquer kept doing. A lot of clones at that time. And this one really differentiated itself. That's why it got 92%. Played many hours of that. Haven't played Warlords, but who needs it when you have Dark Rain? To this day, I have no idea what this game was all about. Played it countless times, always got in debt, and never managed to do anything with the demo. I need to give it another go now that I have a mild understanding of life and how things work. I remember it being pretty fun. 85%. Fight for off-world peace. No respect, none asked for, none given. Rebels! Bomberman is great, but look at these PCs. More importantly, there's Ian Miller, an expert, who most certainly doesn't collect organs in his mother's basement. $1,650 at the time, what a beast, look at that. 24 speed, super high speed CD-ROM drive, Sound Blaster 32, Matrox Mystique 3D graphics 4 megabyte. Wow. 4 gig Maxter Diamond hard drive. Insane. And it looks like you get a bunch of free shit with every order. That's always a bonus. Machine Hunter. Played a demo of this when I was a kid, and then just completely forgot about it. Nothing special. Although now after reading this, I can feel some repressed childhood memories knocking at the door. Free Lotus Smart Suite 96. Lotus sure is going places. Dark Colony. Just looks like another Command & Conquer clone. Never played it. Never even heard of it. Wow, look at this early netware. Internet gaming in 97. Stop playing with yourself. Start playing online. I prefer to do both. Sometimes at the same time. Quake 2. The first game I ever fell off a chair whilst playing. There I was, minding my own business, crawling up some stairs, and a statue came out the wall. Fell over backwards, broke the chair leg. Good times. Great game. Don't remember the axe. The axe spade thing. I think it's a spade actually. Cheats for Theme Hospital. Super handy. Don't think I ever played Theme Hospital without cheating. Systems, drop and go. Sure, we will see Intel and AMD fighting it out. It's almost like I read this magazine before. The release of the K6 processor. A hope against Intel. A feud that would last 20 years. Your disposable income disposed of. Wow, every single TV in 1997 looked super similar. Don't know how we ever watched TV on those things. The Produce an Erection contest. Lord knows I can't enter that. And that's the end of this week's mag, guys. See you in the demo. Wow, can I run this demo disk? Clearly my VM is up to the task. Win32. Not present. Pretty sure it's present, guys. See? Already capable of running Win32 applications. You're full of lies, PC gamer. I agree. It's a very uninspiring interface, but I suppose for the time it was down with the kids. Obvious differences are there's no descriptions of games at all, and no pictures, beyond this little sidebar over here. They didn't have a demo of the month back then, it seems, so I'll place my vote on Total Annihilation. X-Wing vs. TIE Fighter. Looks great, never played it. Constructor. This game is great, but I'll talk more about that when we get into the demo. Beasts and Bumpkins. My brother played this a lot. I used to watch. Fun game. Unfortunately, GOG have not remade it, and getting it to work on any modern PC is pretty tricky. So I have no gameplay. Not even a screenshot. Absolutely nothing. Moving on. Total Annihilation. More about this during the demo. I feel like I'm scrolling through this like pictures are popping up, but they aren't, so yeah. Not very inspiring. So I'll start by saying that this game has not aged well for me. It's like the girl you don't want to introduce to your friends because she has a face for radio, but you keep going back to her because she plays so well. Needless to say, I've spent many hours playing this game. So let's build a base and attack some core scum. The basic premise for this game: in the far future, the Milky Way is ruled by smart humans and AI called the Core. They live in peace. Then someone discovers that they can transfer consciousness to machines, and they tell everyone that they must do it. A bunch of holistic folk disagree with this approach and decide to start a war that lasts 4,000 years. And that's what this game's about. This is going to be the fastest speed build ever. I'm not even going to try. I say this hasn't aged well, but I remember even in the 90s, I didn't like the aesthetic of it. If you wanted a game that's similar to this, you could check out Supreme Commander or Ashes of Singularity. These things are called K-bots. Does that mean they're Korean robots? Anyway, we have our army, so let's go. This unstoppable force. Water, my only weakness. Through the power of science, we can now see everything. Well, he clearly can't cross the water, so it's all up to this guy. You're gonna win the war for us. I'm gonna get there. Eventually. Why is it so far? Wow, this guy's like a fat kid trying to catch a cupcake on a string. You're nearly there, buddy. Take that, you. Totally wrecked it. We got this, guys. They don't stand a chance. I'd like to see you build with a broken manufacturing plant. Yeah! This guy was a bit faster. He'd probably be the best unit in the game. 3 shots, and it's down. Quickly before this thing builds. Yeah! The inspiring story of one robot. But seriously, I'm about to beat the game with a construction robot. The fuck just happened? That was unexpected. Well, that gameplay was as inspiring as this demo disc content. Let's look at some more stuff. How about Constructor? This game is great, although I do prefer the remaster now that it's fixed, and I'm yet to play the sequel, which has you building in space too. So we're going to choose build, build, build as our game type. And the idea behind this is that you are a construction company who wants to dominate the map. You do this by expanding fast and driving others out of business. There's humor, trickery, and mob-related antics that help you accomplish your goal. So we're going to start by building a wood yard. A big wood yard, because I like to waste space. And then we're going to call our construction team round. And they should arrive shortly. Dun 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 dun. Congratulations! You finished your first wood yard. Great, now we can build a house. A log cabin, a wooden lodge, or a Soweto hut. Let's have a Soweto hut. Lots of space. Call our builders round. I never managed to not be in debt in this game. I never managed to ever do anything successfully in this game. But I was 9, so perhaps I just didn't understand anything I was doing. Pretty similar to now, really. Your first home has been completed. Great. Now we can move in some chavvy tenants. Wow, these guys look like bad news. You're hired. And that's pretty much the premise of the game. Build, take over as quick as you can, the houses get better, buildings get better, and the tenants get better. But we don't have time for that in this video. Back in demo disc land, we all know what PGA Tour is. Chasm, FPS that wanted to play alongside Quake but didn't live up to its 3D environments. Never played it. Imperialism, I'm guessing this is similar to Civilization. Turn-based strategy about ruling the world. A sequel was released in '99 and you can grab it on GOG. Never played that either. This is a flying game. Metal Knights is another CNC clone with a slight difference. I'm not sure what those are because I never played it, but you can download it from abandonware sites. Extreme Assault, helicopter game, F-16, can you guess what kind of game this is? Sega Worldwide Soccer, Better Left for the consoles, and Formula 1 Racing. Let's check out some Eyewitness Extra. This game actually won Strategy Game of the Year in '97, beating Total Annihilation and Age of Empires. I've never even heard of it, so I suppose I need to go back and check it out. This is probably one of the greatest strategy games ever. So much nostalgia and color in one photo. What a great game. I love all the different cultures and the buildings that they have. Death Trap Dungeon, based on an adventure game book series of the same kind. The character, and I quote, was based on all the girls that caught his eye over 20 years. He must have gone to some interesting brothels during that time. Grr, look at these angry people. Didn't get good reviews. Mediocre at best. What is he trying to bite? QuickTime 16 and QuickTime 32. Also video for Windows. McAfee has been around since the beginning. What netware have you got for us this month? Magic the Gathering site. Click here to enter. Wow, that's cool. At risk. I'm okay with taking risks. Wow, that's cool. It's like a whole website archive. Very nostalgic. That's awesome. What extras have we got? We got some level packs for Duke Nukem, Warcraft 2 and Quake, a Civ patch and some maps. Most importantly, the top 100 video. Wow, this is the greatest piece of film ever rendered, and a fantastic place to end this week's episode. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Maybe you even want to share this week's episode for some good karma. We wouldn't want your life to have a downward spiral now, would we? I'll see you next week for some time in 2004.